Worst engines or not, you guys requested the Ford Vulcan engine, so here we are. So the Ford Vulcan engine is a 3-liter engine designed from Ford, cast iron block, cast iron cylinder head. This engine debuted in 1986. It was made specifically for the Ford Taurus, but eventually made its way into sedans, trucks, vans, lots of different vehicles, all the way up until 2008. So at the time this engine was designed, Ford was looking for a successor to the LTD and the Marquis sedans. They originally had plans to put a straight 4 in their replacement. However, as designs went on, the car got bigger and the car got heavier, and they needed a larger engine that could accommodate to all of the needs that they needed to fulfill. So thus the Ford Taurus and the Mercury Sable were born. So Ford actually had some very oddly specific guidelines that they wanted this engine to meet. At this time, Americans were very concerned with reliability. So they specifically wanted an engine that would run up to 7,500 miles without needing an oil change. They wanted it to last at least 100,000 miles without needing any type of major engine maintenance. They wanted it to make at least 130 horsepower. And then they also added something called limp mode, where if the engine were to overheat, the driver would have 5 minutes before the engine would shut down, I think with hopes that the driver would be able to get somewhere safe before the vehicle completely shut off on them. Ford also designed this engine so that the oil filter, the spark plugs, and the dipstick were all up front. They were all colored bright yellow, make it easily accessible, and again, something more family friendly for people who wanted to do those smaller maintenance things by themselves. This engine had a very long run from 1986 all the way up until 2008. It was put in applications from the Taurus to the Ranger to the Aerostar. I will pop up a full list of applications here. Any engine that is produced for this long, of course, is bound to have lots of improvements made. The biggest noteworthy thing is that the very early models had issues with head gasket failure as well as water pump failure. Those issues were corrected in 1989. In 1992, we saw the introduction of the roller lifters. In 95, we had a 5 counterweight crank that was added. And then as time went on, Ford added things like a reinforced block. And then in 99, they added longer head bolts, etc., etc. Ford's goal when making this engine was an engine that would last forever. It would be reliable. It would be easily maintained. If you are judging whether or not Ford accomplished their goal, this is definitely one of the better engines out there. You will see them reach 200,000 miles without any major problems. It's not new technology. It is not meant for your race car, but it is definitely one I think we'll be seeing on the road for a very long time.